Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. I will say this evening had like a little bit of an ill sting to it, but we can get to that. Let's rewind it back to yesterday. So yesterday, I was just chilling, minding my business, and a friend invited me out to go out to eat. And I was like, okay, let's go. Let's do it. So I was able to get some Mexican food, and it was really, really yummy. I got three little tacos, little street tacos, if you will. And they were delicious with some rice and beans. And then I also got a margarita, and that was very nice. Felt good to kind of get back to that. Let's see here. And just overall had a good time hanging out. It was good vibes, and that's always nice. So we enjoy that. So yay, it was a good Sunday. Sunday fun day. Let's see. Now for today, everything was more or less good. Today was pretty business as usual for a Monday. We got the lasagna, if you will. But I knew, I was like, oh shit, I gotta get an oil change. So let's just go ahead and get an oil change, right? Let's just knock it out. I got like maybe 30 miles to go before I need it. Let's just do it. So, I pull up and, more or less the oil change goes well, a little bit of a wait, but that's okay. I don't mind, whatever. And then I'm not trying to do that shit myself. But the guy tells me when he's doing my little inspection on my jalopy of a car, he goes, "Hey, your driver's like real light is out. If we can change that out for you or whatever." And I was like, I'll change it myself. But in my head, I was like, okay, yeah, need a new headlight, and I needed a brake light. So I thought, and turns out I go get said headlight, go to my brake light, go, oh, wait, this isn't even the right thing, duh. So I had to go through the whole thing at AutoZone to get a new light after the whole oil change thing. I go through all of this shit, and then I realize, actually, the old light bulb is actually lighting up. So I think I was just fine. Granted, I understand I got a fucking, like, tape over my fucking shit, like the little red light tape, so maybe the guy kind of couldn't see it anyway. It might be obscured, if you will. But yeah, so my little jerry-rigged vehicle is still okay. Everything's fine. I just wasted more money than I thought I was going to, is the long short of that. And y'all know how much I am, how do you say, poor. So every dollar counts. So I was in my bag about that. I was annoyed that I wasted time. I haven't eaten yet. It's late and all that. But like I said, at the end of the day, this was a good day, and I want to count my blessings for that. Jeezel Pete's, I know I'm kind of wasting your time on the intro. It's going long. I'm sorry. But, that's my personal news. Overall, things are good. We're well. Try not to worry too much about the money. You feel me? All right. But speaking of not worrying, let me go ahead and take my start up, and then we will get into some news. Ooh. Ooh. Also, I gotta add, I'm drinking, was it a local beer from Mad Tree, Psychopathy. So there you go. It's very yummy. I've had it before. Granted, this is in a tall boy. And I also have to add that I'm using my koozie for the first time since I bought it years back on a random bachelor party trip to Dayton. And I was just there, and I was at this random bar getting an IPA tall boy, really learning my ways. Like, oh, this is the drink for me, I think. And I got this little guy, this little founders thing. Then I took it home with me, and I realized, oh, this only fits tall, skinny, like, boys. They don't work for, like, normal tall boys, I feel like. And they don't work for, obviously little, like, 8 ounces or whatever, right? So I'm glad to be able to sport this little bad boy. And I figured I'd tell the world. Okay. All right. Enough about my wins and losses. Let's get into some news. From The Guardian. California governor vetoes bill that would have set $35 cap for insulin. Now I'm sorry. I'm blowing up the feed about Gavin Newsom and California and all my tomatoes. But I do feel like some of these things are definitely worth talking about. Apparently, he signed over the weekend a grand total of about 12 bills or so. So he's been actually, doing some work. Some I've already covered, like with the caste system thing. But I wanted to go ahead and cover this one. Also, just wanted to mention that California almost decriminalized psychedelics. But Gavin Newsom was like, no, it needs more testing. We got to do some more research. So there was that. I think there were some other things too that were relevant, but I'm just gonna, skim them and we'll focus on this insulin thing because it does. It matters to obviously the people of California, and I feel like it matters to just more than that, but we'll get into that. Gavin Newsom has vetoed a bill that would have stopped insurance companies from charging more than $35 for insulin. The bill would have banned health plans and disability insurance policies from imposing any out-of-pocket expenses on insulin prescription drugs above $35 for a 30-day supply. That would have included deductibles and copays. Now, this is something that would have been a massive windfall to people with diabetes. Like, having that kind of cap makes the drugs so much more affordable than they are. Essentially, they're just running rush out on customers when it comes to something like insulin. This is a very much a supply and demand situation. And, pharmaceutical companies have just been able to just get away with it for so long. And, with the push to try to make this shit more regulated and the government stepping in, it's really a shame that Newsom said, you know what, let's just not. But let's get into his reason why. The California governor, a Democrat, said earlier this year that the state would soon start making its own brand of insulin. California has a $50 million contract with the nonprofit pharmaceutical company Civica RX to manufacture the insulin under the brand CalRx. The state would sell a 10 millimeter vial of insulin for $30. So essentially that deal in and of itself is a good deal, but it is insulated. And I feel like that's very frustrating because, there are other people with maybe like other insurances that are going to be left out if, their provider isn't switching to this, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong there, but, you're going to be on the cold in that way potentially. And also I feel like what's a big thing is, this is a huge opportunity to really set the tone, really set the pace. Once again, kind of bringing back the caste system thing that we talked about in the previous episode. You say, hey, we're making this an issue. We're choosing to like really stand up and say this and change the game. That would have made shockwaves, I really feel like. And shying away from that, saying, oh, we have our own thing. And maybe there's an economic and interest like with the whole Civica thing, what have you. But fuck that. I don't give a shit. Both can exist here at the same time. Your insulin, this CalRx shit, is $5 cheaper than the cap. So this is a win on a win. And I just feel like this is yet again another example of like a Democratic backpedal of saying like, yeah, we just can't do it, but we're already helping you. That's why we don't need to do it. It's not even that necessary. When really this is something that is very helpful, very useful. All the more help, the better is the way I look at it. So once again, boo this man, gruesome Gavin, sharp as knives teeth. I don't know. I'm being mean. I don't know. I don't like him. I don't like him. He's not my friend. But let's go ahead and move along. To the Associated Press. You want to go to Costco? Costco is selling gold bars. What's behind the demand for its 1 ounce gold bars? Okay, maybe this isn't news to you. I randomly talked to my friend about this last week, and technically this is a bit of old news, but I figured, hey, I want to talk about it. I wanted to kind of lighten the load for the day. But apparently this is a thing, and not just at Costco. When I was doing a little research here, I stumbled when I was doing a little search. Apparently you can buy gold at Walmart, so maybe they've already been hip to this, or they're following in Costco's footsteps. I don't know. Get at me if you've bought a bar of gold before, because I'm just curious. I'm interested, not because I want to get into the game. It's too expensive, too steep for my blood. But the fact that you can, let's just get into it. Looking for something to add to your Costco cart along with the 30 rolls of toilet paper? How about a bar of gold? While not a typical outlet for the sale of precious metals, the members only warehouse chain has seen its 1 ounce gold bars sell out faster than discounted 170-ounce jugs of laundry detergent. In a company earnings call last week, CFO Richard Galanti said the gold bars, sold exclusively online, are typically gone within a few hours of appearing on Costco's website, adding that there's a 2 bar limit per member. As of Wednesday, they remain sold out. So apparently this is like a hot commodity. Gold's kind of on the rise. I believe they're selling the gold bars for let's see, about $1,835 per ounce, and that was as of Wednesday afternoon. Now, maybe people are kind of buying this because they feel like this is like a good way to diversify their portfolio, money wise, investment wise. I don't know. Like, this is not a finance podcast. That's not my bag. It's not my shtick. But I guess people are trying to switch it up a little bit, and gold kind of feels like, hey, I know gold, like I can trust gold. Things like gold, diamonds, things of that nature, you can kind of put it in a safety deposit box, kind of not worry about it, pull it out when you think the time is right, and I guess make your money. But I don't know. The price of gold, the price of gems, other precious metals, that shit can fluctuate. So I wouldn't want to bet my futures on it. Plus, like I said, at the top of this shit, I'm poor. I'm broke. So it's not like I can fucking afford this fucking shit. You feel me? So yeah, I mean, I just found this interesting that you could literally go to Costco.com or whatever, or like I said, Walmart.com right now and just fucking buy gold. And it would be available for store pickup. And I can't imagine how that would go. You pull up, because I have done a store pickup before. I don't know if you have before. You pull up and you're waiting for your shit, and they just come out. Like, do they even put it in the cart and roll it out and then hand you the? I don't know. I'm curious. Let me know if you've bought gold. If you're a newsie that's big on gold right now, let me know. I'll definitely probably put you on the pod just for that, or at least shout you out. Okay, we can move along now. Let's see. Let's go to Russia. Mother Russia. Let's see. From the Independent. 80-year-old Russian woman found to have lived her whole life with needle in brain. Oy, 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 oy. Now, I gotta say, I mean, as much of a trigger warning as I guess I can give, I thought I was ready for this story when I read the headline, and I wasn't ready by the time I got into the details of it. So, there you go. Doctors found an 80-year-old woman in Russia has lived her entire life with an inch-long needle in her brain. A local radiologist discovered a 3-centimeter needle inside the octogenarian's brain during an X-ray scan, said the Ministry of Health in Salakin in a Telegram post on Wednesday. The tiny needle was located in the perineal lobe of the unnamed woman's brain, according to the ministry. While it did not disclose the exact date of the discovery, it said the needle was found this year. Let's see. The needle was lodged inside her brain since she was born. Doctors believe she had survived a failed infanticide attempt by her parents. And that's when I was like, fuck. Okay. So they do try to give some context here. In the Soviet era, during the famine of the 1930s, desperate parents struggling with poverty would insert a needle into the soft spot of a baby's head, the fontanelle, where the skull hadn't entirely developed. So the soft spot of the baby. I'm sure you've heard about this. Apparently, this would close and then obscuring the needle, but the newborn would eventually die. Such incidents were not uncommon during the years of starvation. A thin needle would be inserted into a newborn's fontanelle to damage the brain. The local department of the remote Russian region wrote on its Telegram channel. The fontanelle quickly closed up, covering up evidence of the crime, and the baby died. But this old lady did not die. Now, she apparently occasionally would complain of headaches. I think that's what wound up having her getting the x-ray and then finding this out. But here's the thing that really just left me on the floor, because obviously it's like, damn, you've now found out that the reason you're having these headaches is because your parents couldn't afford to feed you in themselves, and they had to make a really ultimate decision and put a needle in your brain and let it close, and you were going to die, and then you didn't die. So that's a lot. That's a heavy load. But then you find out that it's like, oh, okay, so because this has been in your brain since like your birth and everything, we don't know if you would survive the surgery or what would happen to you. So we're just going to monitor you. That's the story as of now. Whew, and that just gave me the heebies. Like just knowing that this is your life now at 80 years old, and now you just got to kind of write it out. Whew. That's a bitter pill. So, that was some news I was kind of wanting to cover from last week as well. But now this is some news I just found out about today. This is like fresh out, a little bit of break. It's not really breaking, but it's definitely interesting to me. I'm gonna take my classic little end break, and then we will get into some news, and I will let you go. And hopefully I will go cook some food after this. Ooh wee. Oh. Okay, from the Insider. A Florida pastor has been accused of running an organized retail crime ring and hawking $3 million worth of stolen items online. Ooh, I haven't heard the word hawking in a while. It's a classic word. Okay, so yeah, this is a little bit of a grift story. We love a good heist. I say love, you know what I mean. You guys know when I say I love crime, I'm not like, oh yeah, give me more crime. But like, I don't know. It's important to fucking talk about this shit. And I think it's okay to find things interesting that are interesting to you, good or bad. As long as you can say, hey, like, it's fucked up to do that shit, and these motherfuckers gotta face justice. Which we're doing here. We do that on this podcast. A Florida pastor has been charged with running an organized retail crime ring, where he's accused of pocketing millions from selling items his associates stole from Home Depot online. Robert Dell, a Pinellas County preacher, is accused of operating a multi-million-dollar theft ring and faces charges including racketeering and dealing in stolen property, per a press release from Florida's Attorney General in August. According to the press release, Dell used his former positions as a pastor at the Rock Church and director of a halfway house for recovering drug addicts to threaten and manipulate people to steal for him. The investigation revealed that Dell's co-conspirators stole from Home Depot stores 5 to 6 times daily, per the press release. Let's see. And this is definitely the stinger. The press release added that stolen items were then sold under Dell's eBay account, Anointed Liquidator. Ay, ay, ay. Besides Dell, 4 other associates, including Dell's wife and mother, were identified and charged as co-conspirators. The 57-year-old sold $3 million worth of stolen items online since 2016, the Wall Street Journal reported on Saturday, citing Home Depot as well as a search warrant affidavit it had seen. Now, yet again, these companies are like, oh, we've lost so much money from this, and you know what? It's only gonna keep on happening. Oh my God, we'll never make it back. God, we're eating our shirt, America. Fuck that. I'm sorry. If you can't hang Home Depot, then just fucking leave. I'm gonna segue off of this into a little bit of side news, old news, if you will. I think it was an iPhone store in Philadelphia. That was a store that got robbed. People were like, oh my gosh, this is yet again another example of the rampant crime. And it's like, Yeah, dude, crime happens. It fucking sucks. There's reasons for that crime, and maybe we should focus on solving that more than anything else. But yeah, I'm sure, Apple is like saying the same thing that Home Depot is saying, like, oh, we can't thrive under these conditions. We can't do anything under these conditions. Sure enough, we're gonna close. Oh, I know Target was also another motherfucker saying, oh my gosh, we're closing down all our stores because of so much crime, when really it's because you're not making the money you want. You are not meeting these bottom lines because people don't have the fucking funds anymore. That's more of a fucking real issue. But you don't want to say that, and it's much easier to just blame it on crime and say, oh, there's an issue here with the place, and that's why. When really it's like, because you're just not making the money you want to make. But yeah, that's the episode. That's really all I wanted to say for today. Let's see here. How did we do on time? Oh, great. So great. I love it. I love when I'm under 30. It means so much to my night because it's usually not as bad on the back end. But that's for, that's podcasting shit. That's behind the scenes shit. Don't worry about that. Okay. I got to chill a little bit. Patreon.com/Isaiah News if you'd like to support the effort. You do become a newsie. I do dub thee a newsie. I shout you out at the top of the month, and then I plug a project you're on. What thing you doing? Let's see. Free ways to hit me up. Feedback. Feedback. IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. And then find me on all the socials. Find the podcast on all the socials. Please subscribe to the YouTube. It means a lot. Please give me the thumbs up. All of the stars, all of the reviews. Please say nice things to me. It means a lot. And, I don't know. I don't want to, don't make my day bad. Don't be a meanie weenie. But yeah, that's all I have. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love you. Bye-bye. Mwah.